That's literally the feeling I had when I performed in front of the producers at audition. But in my mind, I was getting this. But in reality, I was getting this. And the reason being is when you go to a audition, you have to be ready. You have to be ready. And if you're not ready for the audition, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to ace it. It's like trying out for the NBA or the NFL. Just say, for instance, if you tried out and they recruited you, 9 times out of 10, you may get it because they reached out to you and da 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 da. But say, for instance, if they recruited you or you wanted to go for an audition or a tryout and you fail, why? Because you haven't practiced. I know that don't make sense because I don't watch sports, but that statement, practice makes perfect, is correct. I'm 32 years old. Ever since I was 14 years old, 14 years old, I'm about to do the math because you already know I am on my podcast. I'm not about to just sit here and do it. So 32 minus 14, 18. Let's just round it out to 19 years because the year's almost up. For 19 years straight, I have been acting, public speaking. I've done all of it. I've wrote stage plays, TV shows, movies, everything. They haven't got published, but I did it. And recently, for the past year or two, I've been doing stand. Well, for the past year, I've been doing stand up comedy. I've did about 8 to 10 shows max. Each show are different. Each show is different, and I'm fine with that. And I was very consistent with that. And if I skipped a day or two, I have to double down and do more material. So instead of like a 3 minute comedy skit, I have to do a 6 minute comedy skit. So what I'm going at is if you're going to audition for a television show, movie, or anything, practice and be ready. Now, you are going to watch tons of videos on YouTube, TikTok, and everything how people say, well, I can't act, blah, 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 and I got to roll. But I want everybody to listen to this podcast, including myself, to be better than anybody else. It let the company or anything show you the value. So, story time with MJ. So when I auditioned in America's Got Talent in 2013, and I was in a program called AmeriCorps NCCC Female Corps. And we was the first NCCC Female Corps class, and I think we was the 20th class in AmeriCorps NCCC because in 1993, Bill Clinton created the program. Anyways, this was my first time traveling ever. And it was very fun. We were stationed in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and we was just all over the place. So if we getting comfortable somewhere, we move. We was in Alexandria, Virginia. We was in Washington, D.C. Literally, the White House is out my window. I can literally look out my window right now and see the White House. Not the current house I'm in, but it's like looking out the window, checking to see if you have mail or seeing if your car in the driveway. That's literally kind of the distance of the White House from the window. Anyways, I was loving DC, and prior to DC, I auditioned for America's Got Talent in Denver, Colorado, 2013 for the auditions. And I did it because it was this girl I could not stand, and I wanted to one up her. So the audition the audition was going to start in like 2 or 3 days. So I literally whipped something together, and what I whipped up was literally Elmo and Shaquille O'Neal having an argument, and this was in my first stand-up comedy special. It should be on YouTube, by the way. But I literally said I had a quote like it was Elmo and Shaquille O'Neal who was like, "Hi, welcome to Elmo's world. This is Elmo." And then da 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 Shaq come like, "Hey, this Shaquille O'Neal." Da 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 da. Then Elmo said, "Hi, well Shaquille O'Neal, you suck. You ride Kobe's coattails." Horrible. Probably one of the worst things I've ever. Well, it's a lot of worst things I've did in my life. A few ugly people I've done in my life. Like, ugh, why did I do that? Like, But probably one of the most worst things I did in my life is like something. One of the few things that'll come with me to the grave, although it's not going to come with me to the grave, because I'm telling y'all the story. But I failed that audition because number one, I was also teasing someone who was meditating. It was a dance crew. Again, this is 2013 America's Got Talent auditions. I remember seeing somebody that was a drag queen or a dude dressed up with a pink wig and a pink dress. I laughed at that. Then, before I auditioned in front of the judges, the producers, I was teasing these dancers. They was wearing all denim, doing a meditation. Man, they told me to come over there, and they got on me. They didn't roast me, but they like, oh, you think it's funny? So I did the meditation with them, and it was actually peaceful. But whatever, I was naive during that time. So, like I said, I went into that studio room and performed in front of the judges, and oh my God, I killed it. Meaning, I killed my chance of like making it on TV or anything. So, fun fact: these reality TV shows where you see that like America's Got Talent and stuff, or even American Idol, they literally do put y'all in a room and tell you, "Oh, you made it and you didn't make it," and they do that during the producer process. So once you do that, I think the second step is you go on stage and perform on television because it's pre-taped. So I remember signing a lot of paperwork for Universal. So it was fun. But I kept going and going and going, and I kept auditioning like virtually. And I said to myself, with him, I got to keep practicing. So after a while, like recently, I've been practicing like with my comedy. I've been doing stand up comedy. I've been doing my podcast. And part of my stand up comedy gigs, I'm going to actually perform some stand up comedy shows onto my podcast. And I've told people before if they subscribe to my TikTok, Milto ENT, and my YouTube, if I get 1,000+ viewers, I mean 1,000+ subscribers and listeners, whatever. If I build my clientele up, I'm gonna perform a stand-up comedy show exclusively for my audience. And it's gonna be nonstop punches. So stay tuned for that. But with 18 to 19 years experience, let's just round this shit up to 20+ years experience of the stage game, the media game, the show business, not show business, but it's literally the same thing. You have to practice. You have to practice. If you don't practice, when you go to the audition, you're not going to do good. You got to practice. Even if they do choose you, you don't want to do that. You don't want to hand out. You want to work hard and be the best you can be, because once you practice, 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 and consistently practice, you're going to do good. I even had audition for a theater in Houston, Texas, a couple years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, called an Ensemble Theater. I had to do about 4 to 5 auditions. I aced every audition except one. One audition I kind of failed, but they kind of just let me go and said they'll teach me. The fifth part of the audition, I had to like do something else. No, actually, the fifth part of the audition, I had to do the scene like with my shirt off and everything, but my body wasn't fit enough, so I wasn't cast for that part. And they told me they were going to contact me for a role that's suitable for me. But the more of the story is, I practice. Now I can't sing, but I tried to sing. And the person noticed that I was trying, and he didn't give me a handout. He said we can work with you, but these other auditions are going to be a little bit more intense. So I actually aced the other auditions and did good and everything because had to read a piece of paper and act and do that. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all, but it kind of sucks that that happened to me because I didn't have the body, but I kind of hate that people may typecast you because of your race or your shape or your weight. But that's another story for another day. But at the end of the day, if you're auditioning for something, audition and practice before you do that audition. You can't go nowhere without practicing. That don't have to apply for show business. That could apply for anything. The biggest casting call in the world is getting a job. Practice. Look at interview questions. Research the company. Know about that company. And once they ask you questions, you ask them a question. You ask questions like, okay, da 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 da. Like, how long have you been working for the company? What are your goals in the company? What do you see me in the company if you hire me? Da 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 da. When you do that, like go out of the ordinary, you're gonna get the job, aka the part. And you can use that same concept in life too, because you gotta learn how to practice to be better. Meaning practicing being better is listening to positive things, exercising, being the best you can be. And once the opportunity knocks for you of greatness or leadership, you're going to be ready because you are accustomed to that. So once you practice something and constantly practice something, no matter what, you're going to be accustomed to that. So once you go on that stage, go to that job, go to that school, do that fashion contest, boxing match, whatever you want to do, you have to be ready. But back to auditioning, like you have to practice in an audition because the world we in now when it comes to acting and stuff is harder now. It's harder now because we have people that's TikTokers that have no talent, but due to them looking good, somebody's gonna hire them. Due to their popularity again, they're gonna hire them. And it kind of sucks because it's a lot of movies you may just see on Netflix or YouTube or Hulu, a lot of places where it's like, oh, I remember them. That's the TikToker. And that TikToker can't act worth a shit. But it's due to their popularity and everything. And people want to give up. And I like that because I like competition. I like competition and I like to be better than that person because, say for instance, if TikTok didn't exist, what can I offer at the table? I can offer years of experience. I could be different. I could be that person like, yo, I may not be a TikToker and I may not be TikTok famous, but I could showcase a variety of skills that'll blow your mind. And I guarantee you that I will be an Oscar worthy winner in this company. Something like that. It don't gotta be just like that, but when you audition, you just got to be ready. You got to be prepared. You got to have that positive mindset. You got to practice and you be prepared. Because if you prepared, got your song ready, got your acting gig ready, got your performance ready. I don't care if you're juggling chainsaws and biting glass and shooting fire from your foot. If that's a talent you have and you practice that talent and have been doing it for years, showcase it. Showcase that. Because I know that may be silly and all, but being different also gets you far in the competition. Being unique also gets you far in the competition. If everybody is playing a note on the piano the same way, or playing the same song, or singing the same song, or singing in the same tone, or singing in the same voice, or singing in some of the guys keep singing a song at tenor, or some guys singing at baritone, then some girls are singing something in soprano or alto. Be something different. Find something out of the box that's unique. If you do that song, do it in a different style. Because I guarantee if you do something in a different style and you think outside of the box, people are going to be like, oh, wow. I see so many talent shows where you may see an African American person, you just may assume just by what he have on, he's going to rap. But he busts out singing country music or a poem or something different. So once you go to that competition, any competition you want to, make sure you have your A game on, make sure you're focused. Because it took me years to find that out. And I feel good. And if you get rejected, screw it. Because the thing about it, if somebody see you on TV, or in my case, hopefully listen to my podcast or listen to your podcast or listen to you, see you on a YouTube video or something. If they see that you're a talent, they're gonna reach out to you. A lot of shows I've watched, from American Idol to America's Got Talent to the X Factor to Showtime to the Apollo, you can name it, Star Search. People that may get eliminated probably on the third round or anything, or be final six. 9 out of 10, they be the winners over the finalists. It's a lot of finalists who names I forgot in these reality TV shows of performance. But once you different, you can showcase your talent better than a person that may sing like Beyonce, but yet you can do poetry like Maya Angelou. Or it could be a person that's athletically gifted, like all around sports person, but yet you're just a world class boxing MMA fighter, and you're very calm, you're very charming, you're funny compared to this guy that is cocky and arrogant, who has all the scholarships and is on this stuff, that's spoon fed, that's rich, but you probably just a poor kid from the hood making your way and staying out of trouble. So I know that it's all over the place, but I'm very passionate about the like pop culture and media, whether if it's radio, television, and film. That's one of the best fields to me to be in. And it's a whole realm that will never ever go, no matter what. And like I said, when you audition for anything, be on your A game, or auditioning for the cheerleader squad, have confidence. Be the best cheerleader, male or female, you can be. No matter if you're elementary, middle, high school, college, who cares? If you're auditioning to be somebody great, do it. Think outside of the box. Don't be like, well, the cheerleaders are very mean and it's hard to get in. You have to be a very pretty person to be in the cheerleading squad, or you have to sleep with a football. Don't think that way. Think positive. Say, I got this. These days, you can create your own team, create your own cheerleading squad. A lot of schools, literally, of the times I've been going to school, you create your own club unless you have a lot of members. You can have a rival cheerleading gang. May not be a rival gang, but do something. And I don't know how schools work, but do something. If you're good in cheering, showcase your skills on, like, create a team or something outside of the school and everything. Something. But at the end of the day, you got to have a positive mindset and you have to practice. Them are the two things you have to have: positive mindset and practice. And last but not least, being different and unique. Think outside of the box. It's literally like drawing a line. Somebody say, okay, draw a line. Cool, draw a line. But it may be somebody different that may draw lines completely different. Why? Because people may draw a basic line. Then next thing you know, this person has drew a line vertically. Then the other person may draw a line horizontally and everything. And people are like, what they got to do with anything? Exactly. Your mind ain't right. If you drawing a line that's different, literally one line, you can draw lines in so many different ways: straight, proportional, just its ways. But if you're very creative, and your line is different from everybody else, everybody can draw a basic line. Literally, it could be a class of 20 people. And out of those 20 people, one or two people draw their line different. One person may draw their line different in a different angle. Then another person may draw their line different with a different color. Like they may draw the line with a pen or a pencil or something special. I say that because once you're different, it's going to show. Once you have that good energy and be yourself and be different, it's going to show. This, like, where's Waldo? What made that show unique is you have to find Waldo. It's a lot of the things going on right now. And then you find Waldo. It could be a lot of people doing the same thing. Literally, if you watch those skits, show like the show Where's Waldo, you're literally seeing a lot of the people doing the same exact shit, are all in the same exact group, and Waldo is just chilling in a crowd, being different, being silly, being unique. And that's what made him unique, because it's like, damn, we actually trying to find him, but we got this person right here, and we got this class of people right here. Ah, where is he? Oh, there you go. So that's how you have to be when you go to audition. You got to be like Waldo. They got to find you. They got to seek you out to see that, okay, this person is different. This person's confidence level is above the roof. And lastly, out of anything, you got to learn how to take constructive criticism. Because if you can't take constructive criticism, and that's like I said lastly before, but this is like a bonus. So constructive criticism can be building you up to be better. And I'm telling you now, it took me a while to adapt to take constructive criticism. Because sometimes constructive criticism could be destructive due to the nature of the person. Meaning, if it's a destructive leader tearing you down, just keep your head up. If it's a good leader trying to keep you, like, tell you something wrong, like pour a drink right, or do this, or it's a certain way you have your posture, or I feel like you should do this. However, say okay and heard. Do it. Because one thing about auditioning, 9 out of 10, make it or not, in the whole process, you're gonna always have constructive criticism. And a lot of judge shows, if you watch, that's their good job, is to criticize you and critique you and make you better. If they feel like you're not suitable for the role or the job, they're gonna say you're not ready yet, or you're not the best fit for this right now. And if you just purify crap and don't know what you're doing, then they're like, I don't think you're passing enough about this, so we have to let you go. So if you know that you're ready for this audition or this competition, keep your head up and be ready. Be ready. Don't give up. Keep your head up. Because once you do that, I guarantee you go ace the audition and be the best ever, no matter what the audition is. I guarantee y'all this. If y'all take this advice, y'all gonna go far in life. Y'all are gonna go far in life. If you keep getting rejected, screw it. Everybody don't have friends like Tyler Perry, where he put people that work for him in television roles, or people that, it's a lot. But if you watch Tyler Perry TV shows and movies, 9 out of 10, the actors that you don't know are people that's been in the same shows. But they worked their way up top and worked with him at the studios. Or, living example, Adam Sandler. If you watch most Adam Sandler movies, it's going to have mostly the same cast. David Spade, Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, of course, um, Rob Snyder, all of them, because that's him. Or Paul W.S. Anderson films is always going to have Mila Jovovich, because that's his wife. Or Robert Rodriguez movies going to always have Danny Trejo. So despite that, it's like building a relationship. But from Tyler Perry to Robert Rodriguez to Adam Sandler, all of those people have literally worked their way up to the top, looking after somebody that gave them criticism and made them better. Every single one of them. And they built their own brand and built their own team due to them listening to constructive criticism and having the way to just wait and be great. And a lot of people, a lot of successful people started off at all the ages. So let that be fuel to ignite you to be the best you can be. Because one thing about auditioning for any type of competition, no matter what, it's gonna always, people say it's gonna always be somebody better than you. Yeah, that is kind of true, and it's kind of not true, because the person that's better than you is you. Meaning you gotta unlock that person in you to be the best you. So once you get that key and unlock that person, cool. And if you fail that so-called audition and you see the person that you lost against, two things will happen. It's like, oh man, what did I do wrong? Or why did they choose them? And look at them and say, okay, they did this and I didn't do this. Or just simply say, okay, screw it. I'm gonna do better. But again, if you audition for something, be ready, practice, think outside of the box, do something different. Think of it like the science fair. Think of it being a kid at the school that may create a robot or something, and everybody else is creating volcanoes or a plant or doing a little trifold board or something. Think outside of the box. Do something different. Rebuild a car. Do something. Think outside of the box. Once you think outside of that box, or be different, or be confident, all these concepts can combine into one, or you can use either one of these concepts, and I guarantee you, you're gonna ace that competition. You're gonna ace that audition. You're gonna ace in life. You're gonna be the success you want to be. Because one thing about being successful, you gonna have failures, but failures motivate you and make you stronger. When you work out, you burning your muscles, but your body is getting adapted to it. And I gotta start working out. But your body is gonna be adapted to it. And once your body is gonna be adapted to it, that muscle is gonna activate. And the best muscle in the world, I don't care if you're fat, skinny, ugly, whatever. The best muscle in the world is your brain. That's the strongest muscle in the world, because I've seen people that's athletically gifted, and I've seen people that weigh a lot. I've seen people with skin pigmentation, people's skin shattered out, people with one arm, one leg. But you know what? Those people that's different, or may not be somebody type, they got a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a husband, an idiot, and got a whole family, a wife, and kids, and everything. You know why? Because of their mind. Your mindset. You could be the strongest person in the world, but if your mindset is messed up and you got a real messed up mind, you're not strong. Simple. So once you program your mind and exercise your muscle, I guarantee you're gonna ace this competition, ace this audition. So that's it. So that's kind of like a mental health motivation thing I'm going to do in my podcast, motivate y'all and everything. Then I'm gonna do stand up comedy and everything, and of course my podcast is geared towards video games, wrestling, and other forms of media. So thank y'all and subscribe and have a great day, because it's about to be holiday times.